Bros, presented by GhostBed.com. Welcome to Drinkin Bros, kids. From time to time, it's rare, we get screwed over, D'Anthony. It happens in this business. However, you're shocked when it's somebody that you look up to, that you thought were decent people. And today, we're going to tell you the true, unbelievable story of how the real Narcos flipped on us. If you watched the Netflix show Narcos, it was based on two DEA agents, Steve Murphy and Javier Pena. I want to be clear because our lawyer is sitting off camera here to make sure I don't get anything wrong on this. Javier Pena had nothing to do with this project whatsoever. It was Steve Murphy, and he had another co-host named Morgan White that had came to us and pitched Dan and I's show for the Tetherball Academy Network. We got about, 14 shows now on the network, something like that?
Who knows?
And the reason why Dan says who knows is we cut the deals with them, and then we leave it up to the talent. You have full creative control. You can say whatever you want. We have one rule here. We have no HR whatsoever, but we have one rule. There's only one word you can't say. I think we all know what that word is. And other than that, create what you want.
Vaccine?
Yeah, it's definitely not vaccine. I said that one a lot. But other than that, you can say and do whatever you want. All we try to do is facilitate advertising so your show will blow up. And if you've noticed in the last few weeks, we have Chuck Liddell's show on Icebreakers. We all flew out to Cowboy Stadium, did a joint show with those guys to do promotion for their new show at Cowboy Stadium, which was a blast. And then, we've got Softcore History. Those guys are on all of our sports shows all the time. Fake Dan and obviously Hot Bob. We've got Econoblast, which, we play the trailers on our show all the time. They come in for our live shows.
Yeah, I'm going to do one of those soon.
Yeah. The last time you did it was awesome, man. And I was
Econoblast? I've never been on Econoblast.
Oh, was it not that one?
No, I've no idea what
No, Jack Sesh. Jack Sesh you were on, dude.
Yeah.
That was awesome, dude. Yeah, that's another show we have. The Friday Night Jack Sesh on Patreon. Which is great. And then these guys will all be guests on our shows, and that is the benefit of owning a media company and having a network like this. Plus, you can reach out to advertisers and take flyers on unknown shows because it's hard to shop for advertising when you don't know what the numbers are. Everybody who inquires about podcasts says, how can I monetize it? How can I get it on the fastest and make the most amount of money? Look, typically it's a slow grind, man. And, you'll know 40 to 50 episodes in what you have and what you don't have, unless you're famous. Unless you're a guy like Chuck Liddell where people know you. Some people will just take a flyer and be like, I love Chuck Liddell. Great. Sign up for advertising.
Yeah, Chuck's such a good guy that he's a lot of people think, and it's understandable that he might be a meathead because he's been beating people to death as a career for so long. And, when he tells stories, he's brutally honest about it. And it could seem to some people like, oh, this is just a fucking fighter. What does he know? He knows a lot about a lot of stuff.
Yes.
About business and about like social issues and politics. He just chooses to avoid that stuff. But a guy like that, you just kind of fucking get him somebody to lead the conversation and let him chime in. It's working out pretty well. I mean,
look, he's a very smart guy and very thoughtful, and he's also unbelievably open about CTE and his treatments and everything that he's going through, and it's great. And again,
we'll do a special on that soon, and we'll get we'll do a show with him and probably like Dr. Frank at the same time to discuss encephalopathy and the pituitary gland and hormone imbalances and all the stuff that's going on. I'm going to have Cooper start writing or doing research for that show soon because a lot of people don't know that I think from 2012 to 2020, the aggregate male testosterone levels went down about 50%.
Yeah, you and I were talking about that pre-show. I didn't know that number either.
Yeah, it's a massive number.
But, with all that being said, we give our hosts creativity and allow them to do whatever you want. Only one rule, you just can't say one word. And that's we all know what that word is, and that's about it. Everything else we really don't care about. And, hopefully it does well, and we can bring in advertisers. The way most of these companies work, like pretty much every media company is it's a 70-30 split where the host gets 70%, and then
that's ad revenue after expense, after production costs.
Correct. And then the 30% is broken down to 15% production to pay for editors and producers and whoever has to make the show itself, because it's not us. And then 15% as an advertising fee. That's pretty stock standard. Now, if you produce your own shows and turn them in and put them up, which there's a lot of those that do, then you take out that 15%. You're only looking at 15%. Now with this, when we were approached by Steve Murphy and his partner Morgan White here, they said, look, we're having some problems with our agency. They're rep by UTA. UTA is one of the biggest, use some air quotes there, agencies in Hollywood. I use air quotes because Hollywood is dying very, very quickly. They're eating their own. As you saw last night, the Golden Globes no longer exist. Even Donald Glover was tweeting out today how nobody will take risk. Everybody wants things handed to them. That's why there's so much bad content out there. However, it's shifted over into making great podcasts and making this medium great, because you still have creativity and you can still do whatever you want in this world. And that's what's the most fun about all of this. Dealing with agencies with this is a fucking nightmare. Especially one as big as UTA, and I was there for a little bit, and it fucking sucks. Unless you're a Chelsea handler or a massive client who's bringing in millions of dollars, they don't do anything for you. So when I got this call and they said, hey, we're with UTA, they're not doing dick for us. We were promised this podcast deal. We've got all these shows. We're super excited to get it out there. I said, great. When you were on the show, Steve Murphy was on the show. I was like, he's one of the nicest dudes on the planet. I was like, hey, yes, man, how can I help? I think this would be great. What is it? What do you have? And he goes, well, I sat down with my partner, Morgan White. He interviewed us for the first 12 episodes about the story of us being Narcos and taking down Pablo Escobar. And then on their 13th episode, I believe they were able to get the actual guy who plays Pablo Escobar on the show on Netflix to be on, and it was a nice capper. And then they went on to interview a bunch of other great murder mysteries and lead detectives of other cases and all that other stuff. And I was like, awesome. And I was like, why can't UTA do anything with this? And they said, well, they told us we need a minimum of 175, CPMs or downloads and all this other shit. And I was like, look, you can't guarantee any of that. A new show is a new show, and you never know what's going to take off and or why. Same with kind of pilot season on television and everything else. But I said, look, based on the concept alone and who you guys are and how popular the show is, what we typically do in situations like that at our company is we cut an audio trailer and then have our in-house sales team, which is Araceli, who you guys have seen on the show before, sell ads in advance. And then that way, hopefully everybody's making some money, and then everybody's motivated to keep doing great work. And then you hope the show blows up. It depends on a name, a logo, all that other stuff. There's a lot of factors that go into it.
For everybody, yeah. And it's when a show like that blows up, it's not just sponsorship dollars in that show. It helps everyone involved, individual brand, if they have any other businesses they're associated with. It's the rising tide lifts all boats. And I say that because we've never included any of that second order effect stuff in our contracts. Now that's what UTA does. They are making everybody sign these deals where they get 10% of any podcast revenue that you make, even if you don't. First of all, they have nothing to do with helping you get on one, obviously.
Right.
Or producing it, or selling it, or any other bullshit. A lot of the other companies ask for stuff like that. We've just never done that because I want people to feel equity.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't want to reach into their pocket. This is supposed to be a symbiotic relationship here. So.
And we also let them keep the IP, which is the intellectual property.
Yeah.
And if you remember that Barstool story a couple years ago with Call Her Daddy, which is one of the biggest shows there is, there was an argument over IP, and Barstool had owned it. I think same with Pat McAfee and some other guys. We actually let you keep your IP. The only thing we keep on a new show is the RSS feeds, so you don't pull the episodes and then replace them with old ads or with new ads, take out the old ads and put the new ads in later, because the advertisers pay for those individual shows. You can't really go back on that.
Right.
I don't know what I would do if I had to call an advertiser and say, hey, yeah, they pulled your ads from that old show, and it's on.
And the other thing is, we usually RSS feeds for shows like that are all aggregated under one umbrella thing, so you can't just pull it off and then give it to somebody else. It doesn't work that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could create them all individually up front if you wanted to do it that way, but we've never done that because all of our shows are on the network.
On the network, yeah. I mean, I know we transferred early on back in the day, maybe a few years ago, from Libsyn over to Podbean, but that was more out of like ease of what we wanted. And,
I'm talking
and the pie
about
charts were easier and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm talking about if a show was on the network and then left it. There would be no way for us to. I mean, they would have to restart the feed all over again, anyways.
Yeah,
if they wanted to do it that way.
Unless technology has changed, but
it has not.
I don't know. I don't know if it has or if it hasn't. But either way, you keep your IP and then you move on with your life, and we don't take that from you. And I learned that lesson from McAfee. I'm a huge fan of Pat McAfee's show. Obviously, when he left Barstool, it was called the Pat McAfee Show, and then they own the IP, so he had to change the name. That's why the name of his show is the Pat McAfee Show 2.0. It does no good to keep somebody's intellectual property. You can always just, it's about the host and the personalities.
It's like having people sign NDAs. There's not a less enforceable document on earth than an NDA. They're completely fucking pointless. Almost always. Now, every now and again, if it's something like an industry secret and there's a monetary value attached to that, then you can file for damages and shit like that. But like getting somebody for breaking an NDA and then trying to assign a monetary value to that just because they fucking told a secret out of school doesn't work. Yeah. It's fucking pointless.
Yeah, it's dumb. And with a lot of these agencies now, because I know Tiger Belly's one of them, Bobby Lee, a bunch of every comedian, Tom Segura, all these guys have told their agents and managers to go fuck themselves, as did we, when they said they wanted a piece of the podcast. And it was like, no, you're not doing anything for that except taking an extra 10% on top of that 30. And it was like, go fuck yourself. Like, we actually want that money. They're not doing anything for you. Now, could they set you up at a Netflix? Wink. Steve? Yes, they could. However, Netflix does not care about podcasts. They have a podcast line. All the shows, they suck because they don't have any money to put into that type of shit. They mostly just want to own it, and then if hoping it blows up and they're not going to promote it or anything like that. Netflix doesn't care about podcasts. They're in the original content, movie and TV documentary business. They're not doing any work on the back end for that. Or, your agent, I guess, could shop it to a podcast one or something like that and get you a flat fee, but you'll never be able to grow. And if your show blows up, you have no real ownership or anything.
Yeah, and it's also missing the point of what podcast is. Podcast is the creator economy coming to fruition. It is taking the power back from these larger agencies and fucking production companies and publishers saying, you know what, I can fucking do this myself and keep all the money.
Yep.
And, I can understand why an older person would want to stay with those older institutions because they're stupid, right? And don't understand how any of this works, which is why they came to us in the first place.
Yeah, and it's a really strange time because we tell people this all the time, and shit, when Malcolm Gladwell was on the show last week, he brought it up as well, where everything he does is in-house. All of his media, all of his audiobooks, everything is now in-house. He doesn't want anybody taking a cut of that money.
Well, I don't think it's about the money for him. If you set up the infrastructure for everybody in that organization to get paid somehow, and then you start depending on them to sell ads or to get ad placements or to fucking publish your shit or any of that other stuff, then you're subject to the whims of their corporate woke bullshit.
Yes.
And I can tell you right now, Malcolm Gladwell doesn't need to do that.
No.
He's sold so many books at this point that he can do whatever the fuck he wants. Now, if you're trying to copy somebody in the creator economy these days, not a bad guy to copy.
Oh no!
Look, got it all figured out.
Yes, they're on the forefront, as are guys like your mom's house and us. I mean, look, we were able to use this model to look at it from a wider scope of how do you help out this many shows and get them out to the public. If you can share guests and advertisers and all that stuff, and that was a big part of our move to Austin, is all the best of the best are here. All these comedians are here. The Rogan is here. Our show is here. Your mom's house is here. Tim Dillon is here. Tony Hinchcliffe is here. There's always people in and out of this studio all day long just wanting to shoot and create and make cool shit. And we're able to make our own money without agents or agencies. I haven't talked to a fucking agent besides directing a movie that I actually needed their client or some bullshit in years. Well, look, independent film is dead. Don't need them anymore. Podcast-wise, start your own. You have your own following, your own Instagram and all that other stuff, and you don't need an agent for that. Books, more and more. Everybody's moving to the Malcolm Gladwell model, including us, where we promote our own books through our podcasts, and we write our own books and distribute them ourselves. There is no reason for an agent there to do that anymore unless they're getting you some crazy advance that you just can't walk away from. But let's face it, with Penguin buying out Simon & Schuster, you're kind of down to about 4 or 5 of them. You got to be pretty goddamn famous to get that big advance.
And if somebody was giving me an advance that big, that would make me immediately suspicious.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I should probably do this myself. Because I just from what I know about the fucking publishing industry, unless you're on brand, I guess, for lack of a better phrase, you're not getting any work at all from the publisher. You'll get revisions.
Yep.
And that's about it.
Yeah, and if they're not happy with you or your revisions or your concepts or the way you talk, we went through this on Matt's book, back and forth. Look, it ended up being #1 in the world on the New York Times bestseller list for 9 straight weeks. But there was things like the Me Too movement had happened during that process when we were waiting for the DOD, and they had taken out jokes about fucking or making out with girls and things like that. I mean, just extreme shit that your agent was asking to do and that the publishers were asking you to take out. And it got to the point where I finally told one of the editors, I just said, look, man, if you want the forward by Alyssa Milano, feel fucking free at this point because you guys are just changing whatever you want.
Yeah, I think to me that's less of a policy thing and it's more of a flex, frankly. I honestly think that's what it is.
I couldn't tell. Like, what the genuine sense I got, because I actually
there's no business reason to do it.
No.
It actually hurts the product by doing that.
No, and the weirdest thing is I actually had a meeting at UTA in New York after that, and I walked in, and it was during all this, and female assistants and all this stuff used to be friendly. You could shake their hands and all that other stuff. Nobody was hugging. Nobody was talking to each other. It's a strange world to be in, and therefore it was really strange when we had agreed to do the show with these guys, cut an audio trailer, have our advertisers shop it. They got a good chunk of change. I think they were up to like $36,000, and they hadn't even had a show out yet, which is fucking impossible.
I think it was a little bit more than that, but yeah.
Yeah, well, there was one more deal that was cut after the fact where, fuck, man, I didn't even get a chance to talk to them. I was like, because they had already cut it off. They go, no, I think we're going back to this. And I was like, hang on, there's one more deal. Nothing, radio silence and all that other shit. So today, what we're going to do is go over the story of how all this happened, and we're going to play this audio trailer that was cut because we had cut this. We had cut this audio trailer because we thought this could be a really, really good show. We did this, and then after we did it, what we did was, and this is typically we insert these fucking pixels. This is pixel tracking into the trailer. When you send them out to advertisers, you just want to make sure they're listening and giving you the proper time. Or if they're not interested, they're not interested, and then it's not their thing, and you can fuck off, and then you can chop it up for the rest of the deal. Well, what happened was these guys had asked for a contract, and I said, great, we'll send one over. In the meantime, I said, hey, you want to approve this audio trailer and everything else? And they were like, yeah, this sounds great. Shop it to all the advertisers, have all the text, the emails, all the stuff. But there was pixel tracking in it. So when the trail went cold after like 2 weeks, I thought to myself, man, I'm gonna take it back and look at these analytics on there. And it turned out they were shipping the trailer around to other people. Go ahead and play the trailer right now. This is the one that we had cut for them.
Escobar, a ruthless killer, escaped from his own luxury prison when authorities tried to transfer him to another jail.
The Bush administration's drug czar, Bob Martinez, called Escobar a bloodthirsty gangster.
Speculation is Escobar used a tunnel, but authorities cannot find one.
Drug king, who was for years one of the world's most wanted men, was gunned down today in the Colombian city of Medellin.
People did not want to talk about Escobar. They did not want to inform on him because if they caught you, you'd get killed. I mean, I hate to say I had some of my informants killed by Pablo Escobar.
So he put bounties on us. It was $300,000 each. This is back in the early 90s, and I see that look in your eye. That bounty's no longer available, so don't get any ideas here, okay? But
Where did they dare you to spend the night at, JP?
Pablo Escobar's custom-made bed.
Did you disinfect it before you got into it?
So he's on the radio, and it was either Colonel Castro or Colonel Pelias leaned over and said they think they found Pablo. So
But Steve, hold on a second. You've heard this, though, how many times, though, up until this point? How many times have you heard they found Pablo?
A lot, but I've never seen excitement like I'm seeing right now.
So the ambassador says, get on the plane, go to Miami. I have his location. And I said, Mr. Ambassador, with all due respect, we are close to Escobar. We know he's in Medellin. He's not in Haiti. And the ambassador then got a little tough with me. He says, if you do not go, I will kick you out of Colombia right now. I mean, he sort of threatened me.
And the next thing you know, you hear one of the Dejin majors, I think it was Aguilar, came up on the radio, and he made a few comments, but he ended those comments with "Viva Colombia, Pablo is dead."
You know what? I am going to sleep there. And I did change the seats, believe me. I took the seats off. The guy had just escaped, you know. So.
Great trailer. Great trailer. It was awesome. Our team had worked on that for 8-9 days to cut that trailer together. They had a bunch of material. It was a lot of work on that end. We have a saying here that nobody's ever bigger than the company. And if somebody did you wrong, it's fine if you want to fuck me over. That's fine. Like, it's happened a million times in Hollywood. I'm okay with it. What I'm not okay with is fucking over our employees. They spent a lot of time cutting that trailer. The marketing lady, Araceli, spent a lot of time shopping this show, sending out this trailer, following up on phone calls, booking these deals. It is so impossible to monetize a podcast from day one, and she was able to do that. And all the work that went into it. If you told me that I was going to get fucked over by a fucking real DEA agent and his partner on this. Again, Javier Pena, for the record, was not a part of this whatsoever. He did not do any dealings with this. This was Steve Murphy and Morgan White. If you'd have told me a real DEA agent, the guy who chased down Pablo Escobar was going to flip on us to try to get a better deal someplace else and then lie about it, I'd have told you we're out of your fucking mind. I can't believe it.
That's pretty... Why? Tell me why. Because why would you expect someone who made a career prosecuting the war on drugs, which is one of the most amoral periods in American history, to act honorably in a business dealing? Right?
You know, I think when you get older, like he's an older gentleman, and this is, look, that case was wrapped a long time ago, right?
No, fuck all that. You have to remember how all this went down in South America. We weren't fucking the good guys down there. We were spraying fucking poison on farm fields, right? We were putting brutal dictators in power like Torreo in Panama, followed by Noriega, and all the shit we did with the Iran-Contra situation in Nicaragua, and our dealings with several South American countries and installing dictatorships down there. I mean, we're responsible for Pablo Escobar existing in the first place, right? So you build this fucking bullshit, and this is the same thing that happened in Panama, by the way. We had helped Torreo get in power, then he fell out of something somewhere. It's hard to say. And then put Noriega in power, let him do our dirty work for a while, and then throw his ass in federal prison. Like, we're not great. Our footprint down there is not great. The people that prosecuted that, I'm sure there were plenty of good people. I mean, look, we haven't fought any real honorable wars in a while either, but there's plenty of honorable soldiers. But the DEA is particularly bad. Like, they're onesie-twosie with ATF and being POS.
I guess it's my own naivete, if you will, about this, only because I had so many conversations with these guys on the phone, and they were genuinely excited because, in their own words, UTA wasn't doing shit. Their agent wasn't doing shit. He didn't do shit for 6 months. Yeah. And that was what was so surprising. And you know, even at the get-go, it was like, because I was like, hey, with a new show, we don't really have a contract. Like, I don't know how the fuck this is going to do. And I don't really care. And they were like, no, we would like one. And I was like, great, we'll have our lawyer give you one. But with a new show that's brand new, you just don't know how it's going to do. So you're just like, all right, well, we'll see how it goes. If you start making money and you enjoy it and you like all the people here, great, we'll do this. But, you know, when you're starting something off new like this, who knows? I didn't even know RSLA could get ads for that, to be honest with you, because you don't have any download numbers to give. Typically, you at least need 30 days worth of download numbers. I guess, you know, if you have an interesting hook or a story, or you're famous like Chuck Adele or some of these other people that we have on our network, sure. But usually you're waiting to see the numbers the same way everybody else is on day one, where you're like, man, I hope people like this show. So I guess that's me on this one, in my conversations and my dealings with them. And I reached out to them and I said, hey guys, I feel like you fucked us over on all of this. And they were like, no, this was our baby too, and everything else. And we're just doing our due diligence. And I was like, due diligence typically means you're trying to shop the show. And then, you know, obviously I went to the pixel tracking and saw how many places that trailer had been emailed out to. And then I got a really, really nice email from their agent over at UTA. So this is the guy who had fucked them over, that had come, so they had come to us to shop this show because their agent couldn't do it. I'm assuming, this is an assumption on this, because when I emailed them and said, hey guys, with all the work that we have put in, if you were flipping on us to shop this trailer somewhere else, like, that's illegal. You asked us to make this fucking trailer I had it approved and everything else. If you use this to shop somewhere else and it goes someplace else, we're simply going to file an injunction wherever this goes out, and this show will never come out.
Is it illegal or is it just immoral?
It is. If you're going to shop it and you've already agreed to it, it's called good faith. So you're acting upon good faith.
Right, but that good faith is not, I mean, how do you enforce that legally?
With text messages, emails, and everything else. I just went through this on another case.
But what law says you have to do any of that stuff when money hasn't changed hands yet?
You don't. But if you're using the product to sell to somewhere else, typically you pay for those goods or services for the trailer, and you don't certainly ask somebody to shop it to then use the trailer that you asked to have made for you to go to somebody else. So I get an email from Daniel Schmertz, which is a real unfortunate last name. Might want to look into changing that at UTA. And he says, because I just said, look, man, you contacted me and asked us to do this for us. We obviously said yes, and then I found out what had happened, and I was pissed off about it. And I let him know. Now, I didn't hear back from Morgan or Steve, which is weird. You would figure a guy who is a fucking real DEA agent out on the thing, like, as a man to a man, you pick up the fucking phone and call, especially after we've been dealing with each other for months, and say, hey, we want to try to get a better deal somewhere else or something like that. But dude, nothing. No text messages, phone calls, nothing. Totally silent on that. And you're just like, dude, as a fucking man, is that where we're at? And I guess that's where they are at.
Well, that's where he's at.
That's where he's at in his life as a person. So I get this email, which I'll read to you, and you can pop it up on screen if you want. Yeah, because look, there's the text message. So shit, put that up right there. Yeah, I've got the email, and I'll just read that off. That's easy. But yeah, man, that was when we did the trailer and sent it out, and I got back sweet emojis. Like, I thought we were fucking bros, dude, at that point. Look at that. Let's do it.
Yeah, these guys
get a baby emoji. They were fun. Fun guys. You know?
They're good at working assets.
Yeah, so this one here says, it's from Morgan. We really appreciate your commitment on getting this out. Sincerely appreciated, of course. I love this. I did. I love that show, and I thought we could do great things with it. And then, you know, obviously it says you can tell by our adult-like gifts. And then we just spent 6 hours with the guys. And then they're doing the Boston Marathon bombing with Ed Davis and all that stuff. And I said, that's amazing, man. Like, I think this show could be rad. And I'm excited about it. I don't know why UTA wasn't excited about it. Probably because it's a new show and you can't guarantee any fucking numbers on that. But when the contact ended, I got an email from Daniel Schmertz over at UTA, who I'm assuming is their agent. It'd be weird if he was acting Otherwise, I guess, on behalf of them, but he says, "Hi, Ross. Sorry you feel this way, but would love if you wouldn't attempt to extort my clients." Didn't attempt to extort them. All I said was, if you're shopping the trailer that we made for you, obviously we can file an injunction on that and stop the show from coming out. Because they asked us to, and they approved it, and we have the text messages and all that other stuff.
Yeah, just to be clear on that part, they came to us about that.
Yes, I get a phone call from Steve, personally on my cell phone. Hey, what's up?
Which is whatever. I mean, I don't really give a shit about any of this, to be honest. Because I expect people to be shitbags.
I don't, but I just want everybody to know in the world, this is what happens, and like, it sucks when people get dicked over like this, and especially our employees. And I said, look, man, I'm going to do this show for you guys. I'm used to getting fucked over, but don't fuck over on employees. And then he says, just some clarifications on your assumptions. The guys have been in negotiations with another entity for over 6 months now, and way before any of the conversations with Drinkin Bros. Hey, Daniel, it's not true. Otherwise, they wouldn't have came to us to shop the fucking show. And that's probably the dumbest comment I've heard from an agent. And that's saying a lot.
Well, I mean, he probably didn't know about that. I'm sure they're feeding
No.
him.
That means that he got them some deal apparently 6 months ago.
And they didn't like it.
Did they or did they not?
Well, obviously not if they kept shopping. But that's the thing. If he's saying that happened, and maybe it did.
Well, there's a paper trail, and there'll be a deal memo and everything else. So I'd love you to produce that, Daniel. I'd love to see it.
I don't really care about any of that. He may be operating off bad information as well. If these guys are fucking pulling our dicks,
pulling both sides.
Why would you not expect him to be doing that? The only person for sure that's culpable in this, in my opinion, are the two gentlemen involved in the actual show. The agent, maybe. I mean, he fired off a pretty smarmy thing, and that's you see that from big agencies because they think they have power because they've got a legal team. But you know,
they don't use that though for their clients, and that's what nobody understands.
They
so
never
like,
do, no.
Even if we sued Steve and fucking Morgan, UTA's not picking up the bill on those legal bills. They're not fucking doing a goddamn thing.
No, for sure.
Not at all. And by the way, I put all of us on a Zoom link and invited them to come on the show. Are they in the room at all, guys? Have they even bothered or anything to come into the room for the Zoom? No, of course not. Of course not. Why would you? Why would you? You're going through your fucking agents. So this, they've been an entity, they've been involved with somebody else for 6 months. Not true. They appreciate your interest, but when it came to the offer, it was not what they were hoping for. So $0 and nobody working for you is what you're hoping for. But hey, man, we'd already booked $36K, and then the other deal on top of it would have probably pushed it up to 50 something.
Right.
For a show that has not aired. They were told they would have all ownership, which was clearly not the case, and the advertising dollars were not impressed with the other compared offers they had. They had no offers, zero, which is why they came here.
Yeah, they definitely didn't have any offers. I mean, when the first time we ever spoke to him was actually on the Zoom call after we did a show with him.
Yeah.
And Steve was pretty clear that UTA hasn't done shit for us this entire time. So certainly they had no offers on the table. Nobody would say that. That's not how you would say it. You would say like, there's some offers, but we're looking around. If you're trying to get somebody, it's not a good marketing point to come to us as producers and advertising liaisons and say, hey, our show has no interest.
Yeah.
That would be a really stupid thing to say if it weren't true.
So, and then as far as the ownership, again, yes, you had all your IP. You keep your IP. RSS feed you can't take. You can't insert ads after the fact. It's going to be fucking over the advertisers that already paid for those shows. And people are doing that. It's weird, but they're doing it. And they're going to start monetizing back catalogs and all that other bullshit. I know Spotify's doing that now. And that's fine, dude. You go on somewhere else and sign another deal. Who fucking cares? Just keep on creating original shows and content and do whatever the fuck it is you want to do. It says there was no deal in place and there was never a guarantee that the guys would be partnering with Drinkin Bros. We sent you a contract. So that's not true either. And you asked for it.
Did they sign a contract?
No, they did not.
So there was no guarantees right about that technically.
Technically.
Yeah.
Yes, there is. And that's fine. Like, hey, you want to move on. But don't do it in this fucking manner. Like, don't really fucking care. Additionally, they've never sent any of the materials to anyone outside of their family. And let me be very clear. I have not seen any of the materials you discussed.
Well, they definitely wouldn't have shown him. Because it's showing him that he hasn't done his job the whole time.
That's what I said. Yeah. When I wrote him back, I go, hey, man, you should never have sent me this email. You just sent me an email saying, thank you, Ross, for doing my fucking job. But I didn't get that email. It says, again, we didn't use or ever need to use any materials to get the guys a deal, as it was already happening way before the conversations with Drinkin Bros. Sorry it didn't work out with you guys and the Drinkin Bros.
Which, again, if that's true.
Thanks, Daniel Schmertz.
From Schmertz, if that's true, then that just means that whatever Murphy and Wright were lying to us the whole time.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So
then
again,
in that case, then they're lying to Daniel as well. So there you go, Daniel. That could be a possibility. It could be. Only you and I will know. And I invited you in on a Zoom link today to join the show, all of you, to chat about it. You declined the offer. And we could have had a conversation. Just adult men, like adult men used to have, for the pussification of society set in, and we had to hide behind fucking lawyers and people and all the other shit. Could have had an adult conversation about this. You guys clearly declined, so, well, fuck off. And now, in the meantime, here's what's going to happen after this, right? We shop to the same advertisers as, we're one of the biggest on the planet, and so are all of our friends and everywhere else, right? When you send a trailer out to all the advertisers, you are sending it to the same advertisers. So it doesn't matter, whatever deal you think you're going to get, you're going to be fucking over that company because it's going to be stale at that point, is what they call it in Hollywood, where it's like, oh shit, didn't I already hear this trailer? Why did it go somewhere else? What happened? Blah, 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 blah. And now they're going to have to answer for this and everything else. You're lucky that, it's like this YouTube, like we're fucking shadow banned. We'll never get more than 500 live viewers on this, probably 10, 20,000 a show on this. Now the audio, they can't stop us. Those numbers are massive. 10.3 a month. Nothing you can fucking do about that. So you can enjoy that as this goes along. And the reason why I say it is 80% of our audience listeners are military and first responder. These are the guys that were listening to your show. They would be listening to your show. Why would you piss off that audience? I don't understand. It makes no fucking sense. It makes no fucking sense. But what I told our employees, because we had a big company outing this last week, all of our advertisers were in town. Two of the advertisers, well actually one was at dinner. And I had to apologize to her at the dinner because she booked this deal, and we have other deals with them. It was Liquid IV. Love Liquid IV. We drink this fucking shit every goddamn day. Promo code Drinkin Bros, 25% off on everything in the entire store. Everything in the entire store here. One was the Liquid IV rep, and I said, shit, man, I'm super fucking sorry. And I had to tell her the story at dinner. You were there. Thursday night. And I was like, dude, I can't believe it. And she was like, the real Narcos flipped on you guys. And I know. And I go, yeah, it's a fucking crazy story. It's the craziest story of all time. I don't really know what to say about it. But here we are. Luckily, she was cool about it. We have, 3 more shows that are coming out in the fall. And she was like, look, we'll be happy to work with you guys in that capacity in the fall. And then the other one, I got to figure out. I got to call homeboy and say, hey, remember that show I pitched you? It was so fucking awesome. You loved the trailer. Well, it's not there anymore. What are we going to do? And now we look like fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Assholes. For what? For nothing. Shit. Wasn't that why Pablo got fucking caught in the first place? Because he was chasing fame and fortune, and then you guys get fucking caught in the same shit. Like, what are we doing?
Well, there's nothing that's going to happen to them, though.
No, unless they decide to put the show out with who I think it is.
It won't matter.
If it's who I think it is, then yeah, fuck. But that's sad, man. You can't do fucking shit anymore. People are just shitbags. Just absolute shitbags. The only thing that I'm glad about, and I talked a little bit about this earlier this morning on this, is like, man, I used to have to fucking care so much about these agents and these agencies and all this shit. I would never have fired off an email like that 5 or 6 years ago to these people telling them to go fuck off.
Yeah.
But it is, the world has changed so much, and Hollywood has changed so much to this creator economy, like we were talking about, that it's like, fuck, I don't know one thing I would really need an agent for in this world anymore.
No. I mean, between social media and being able to reach out to pretty much anybody you want, whenever you can, whenever you feel like it, and the ability to produce all your own stuff. I mean, even the book.
Yeah,
we could do. There's nothing that we can't do.
No, I put
There's no point for that.
the last 2 out of the last 3 out of my own. I mean, one was a fucking offer I couldn't walk away from, and I was like, yeah, I'll take that fucking money. But other than that, shit, we don't need them for anything. And it's weird to see, Hollywood changed like this, and all your friends and big movie stars now just taking game shows. That's what we're reduced to.
Yeah.
It's taking fucking game shows. I saw a bunch of people tag me on this on Facebook. Zooey Deschanel is now hosting a game show. Remember the dating game?
From the 70s?
That's where we're at now.
Well,
So-
there's nothing new anymore.
No. And you have to create your own shit, and that's kind of...
What is up with the fucking
we're
internet
at.
here?
I don't know if it's the internet.
It's the internet. God fucking damn it, man.
Is it out?
Google fucking sucks so badly.
Stream's still out, yeah.
Yeah, but the Wi-Fi's fucked right now.
Google-
Every single goddamn day this happens, Google fucking sucks.
Google does suck, dude. What's the alternative to Google Fiber?
There
these
is no
days?
alternative. The alternative is AT&T Business, and it's slower and $2,700 a month.
Is it really?
Yeah.
AT&T Business is now a thing. How far is Musk away?
Well, he has his satellites up, but that can't produce the data rate that we
The Link Star shit?
Not even close. Starlink.
Starlink is up and it's available.
Starlink. Not even close. By the way, speaking of which, did you watch him on SNL?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Let me ask you, do you think it was him or do you think it was the writing itself?
A little bit of both, probably. I mean, why would he be good at that first? He's weird,
Yeah.
right?
He said he had Asperger's, by the way, in his opening monologue,
Yeah.
which I didn't know.
Yeah, that was a weird. Obviously, they wrote those jokes because the joke was like, I'm the first person with Asperger's to host the show, or at least the first to admit it. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
Right.
Has Jerry Seinfeld ever hosted?
Yes.
Okay, well, he definitely is out about having Asperger's, so that's not even true.
Has he really?
Yeah,
I didn't
he
know
said
that,
he was
actually.
on the autism spectrum fucking like 8-10 years ago. Anyways, it's the writing. They're terrible.
Yeah.
Nothing they do is funny. The only time anybody on the show other than Michael Che is funny is Colin Jost, and that's when Michael Che is making fun of him. They're just it's the worst. It's the fucking fruition of wokeness in media, right? They try. It's. You remember a kid from high school that tried too much to swear and it just didn't work? Mm-hmm. Like it was cringy. Like, oh, dude, they're just trying to be unnecessarily dirty just to fucking fit in. That's what SNL is now. But they're still trying. They're trying to toe the woke line, but insert stuff that they think is controversial, and you're like, oh, okay, sweet.
Yeah.
That's super funny.
It's
And that show will not exist much longer, frankly.
Yeah, look, Musk brought up the ratings. He definitely brought up the ratings, but I agree. I think when Lauren leaves, that is it, and SNL is all done. When you have this much wokeness, as you were saying earlier, you're fucked in comedy. You really don't have anywhere to go. Even there was a sketch with him and Gen Z. Did you see the Gen Z sketch?
That might be the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yes. So on that Gen Z sketch, actually Gen Z was actually pissed off about it.
Yeah, because why in the fuck would a bunch of 40-year-olds be able to effectively make fun of you? They have no idea what they're talking about.
Crazy, right?
Yeah. They're trying, like, people don't talk like that in real life. They tried to read Gen Z on Twitter and pretend like they're saying it.
Well, that was
in real
the...
life. That's not how fucking life works, you fucking dumb cunts.
That was the joke, right? And,
well, it wasn't a very good joke. But to be honest, I mean, Saturday Night Live, this isn't... we think of wokeness in terms of the last, 5 to 6 years, something like that, but it's... Saturday Night Live's been bad for a long time.
Yes.
Ever since fucking Tina Fey left, basically.
Let me ask you, do you think it was Tina Fey or do you think it was the election? I think it was the last election cycle where they were just like, oh no, we're all done. Like, I want to say 2014, 15, right in there, when 2015, when Trump was coming up, that they were like, nothing is funny anymore. This is fucking serious. We're all going to die and everything else. And then the Me Too movement happened and all that other shit. And, you know, you're kind of stuck. You're in a box of what you can say and do anymore, where it wasn't like that.
Pink Trip says, let Alex Jones host Saturday Night Live.
Oof. Could you imagine the ratings for that?
I could imagine the entire staff quitting. So apparently, Saturday Night Live offered a safe space for people that didn't want to be, like, there were 3 particular people who didn't want to be on the show if Elon Musk was on it. I don't remember who they were, but somebody
They all appeared.
Oh, they all did.
Yeah.
They? Okay.
Yeah, everyone. It was A.D. Bryant, Bowen Yang, and Dismukes, the kid from Austin.
Yeah.
They all kind of like. Dismukes didn't really complain. He was just his was like really like a joke almost. A.D. Bryant posted the Bernie Sanders thing about how it's immoral to be rich, even though she's a millionaire and got that way by doing something absolutely useless.
Well, you don't have to worry about her because she'll have diabetes and then die.
Wow.
Because she's fat as shit.
She's not that big.
Yeah, she's morbidly obese. Can we be real about that? Can we just say from a medical standpoint that is incredibly unhealthy and she's probably going to die young because of it?
I don't know.
Yeah, you can absolutely say that.
Adele.
I can see with my
Adele
own
turned it
eyeballs.
around. Adele turned it around.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that kills Saturday Night Live people young is a speedball. So
yeah,
she'll probably be okay.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the fucking 200 extra pounds she's carrying around is about the equivalent effect on the heart as a speedball, right?
I don't know.
It's just lower level, but over the course of time, right?
I'm not going to rule it out. She could turn it around. Adele turn it around.
I'll try both.
Yeah, you will.
I'll let you know.
Goddamn right you will.
Yeah, I'm just a little bitter maybe that fucking people have been stuffing their face with bullshit for the last 50 years, and then everybody had to wear masks because fat people died.
Yeah.
Fucking kidding me? It's fucking stupid, man. The fuck out of here.
We're still wearing those masks, by the way. People are still wearing masks.
Yeah, I've kind of stopped.
To be honest, because
I feel like I'm the kind of, and I'm not doing it for any real reason. I just have gotten out of the habit and don't care anymore. But I feel like I look like the kind of person that people probably aren't going to ask to put a mask on.
Yeah, have you been? Let me ask you: have you been stopped since, sir? Can you just put a mask on, sir? Yeah.
I've never had. The only time I've ever had anyone say anything to me about it was like, I think it was in September of last year at a Lululemon store, which I mean.
All right. As a man, I'm surprised you admitted a Lululemon store. That's nice.
I'm wearing fucking Lululemon joggers right now. It's the most comfortable shit.
They make dude shit?
Yeah.
They're great shorts.
They make great shorts. They have the most comfortable fucking stuff of all time. So,
Bob, I knew you would know about like white man in comfortable shorts. Yes.
Come on. Yeah.
For sure.
I know what I'm doing here.
Good for Lululemon. Shit. I'm on that train. That fucking Under Armour shit from The Rock is actually really goddamn good. It's just expensive as shit.
They're a little woke. But I mean, in corporate America, who isn't?
Yeah, all of them are.
So Bombas are the only socks that I wear.
Okay.
Bombas, and they wanted to sponsor us at some point, and probably until they clicked the link and saw what we did. But I get emails from them all the time because I buy shit from them, and it's like, here's a bunch of socks that were created by black people. Like what? Why?
Oh, that's right. Dude? That's right. Yeah.
The fuck do I care about who created it? Get good socks, and if it's a black person that made it, I'm gonna fucking buy it without even asking who made it. Why would I care about that?
I should never know the race.
There is no fucking world where I don't think that black people can make good socks or good anything.
Yeah.
Why would that even be an issue? Like you're trying to prove to me, like, hey, we told you black people could do it. Here's the proof. Like it's socks, bro.
Yeah. Socks.
Yeah.
And
so
girls make socks.
They say I don't care about all that. So they send me these marketing emails like, here's a bunch of stuff made by African Americans, and I email them back. I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
Yeah.
I respond to all those marketing emails, and you can't. Most of the fucking emails they send them from are those no reply emails. So I find their actual email, and then send it to that. I also, whenever I get any kind of email or actual mail that I know had to involve somebody sending my information to somebody else, I reach out to the company that sent it. And I'm like, hey, how did this company get from my information? Because the only person that has this specific information is you. And show me where in my contract I authorize you to do that. Right? Just whenever I get bored.
Yeah, there's never a real answer out of these people for shit like that.
Well, no, I mean, you're talking to a fucking minimum wage employee on the phone, so you're not going to get any answers. I just do it because I'm bored.
Yeah, and they're probably not even from this country.
Hey, ACKZA TV, stop fucking spamming in here. I'm going to ban your ass, you stupid cunt. You can fucking have a conversation with people or you can get the fuck out. Idiot.
And
try to spell some of the words right at least.
I love misspellings a lot. Just throw a lot of misspellings in there and let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens and see if you can figure it out. But yeah, there's a bunch of crazy shit going on today with this wokeness, man. The Donald Glover shit really hit home for me today because he's 100% right. He was just saying, man, all this fucking cancel culture bullshit is ruining like good, fun, creative art, whether it's good or bad, you know, and people to take chances and everything else. And it's true. I don't know how he's getting away with it.
Really?
Well, I mean, look, he's putting out some wild shit.
Okay, and who's going to stop him?
Well, no, I mean, look, I said this earlier. There was one good executive left that had stayed at a company for forever. It's John Landgraf, and he does FX, and he was the one that put Always Sunny in Philadelphia on the air and Atlanta and all, like the dopest shit ever. I love shit. What's the fucking shit? Dave. I love the Dave Show. I think that's probably the best new comedy out there, but I'm waiting for the 2 next seasons of Atlanta to drop.
Yeah.
He said, Donald Glover said, and he keeps deleting his tweets, which I like. Lakeith Stanfield does that on Instagram as well. He'll post these weird fucking videos and shit, and then just delete all of his.
Michael Che does that too.
Does he really? What's the thing behind that?
I think he just does it so people be like, "Why are you doing that?" Like for, at least as far as Che goes, like he just does it because A, he doesn't care, and B, it riles people up, and he's just a troll, like in a funny way.
I actually like that a lot because I went through Donald Glover's shit today. It was only like 4 tweets, and then Lakeith Stanfield's the same way on Instagram, where he's just like. He'll be smoking a joint at like 2 a.m, and then boom, it'll be gone the next day. And you're like, why did you make that a main post? That's amazing. But creatively, like those are those 2 seasons of Atlanta. That's what I'm really looking forward to. Because other than that, who's taking a risk? I'm glad at least Scorsese's making one more movie, and he's out there. We have that to look forward to. But
is there going to be like a 20-minute scene where an elderly person kicks somebody on the sidewalk? We all have to fucking be like, "Is this real?" Sure. Or are they going to not do that?
You never know. You never know.
When's the last time Martin Scorsese made something that was good?
Shit. Wolf of Wall Street is one of my all-time favorites, if not one of my favorite movies.
That was 2013. Look, The Irishman's terrible.
The Irishman was not good.
It's not bad.
It was fucking 3.5 hours of like, you could have cut that down to 90 minutes and I'd have been fine with it.
Yeah. And this is not an attack on Scorsese.
No, dude, he's the best.
Scorsese's the best. It's so difficult to get a good movie fucking approved and made these days.
Well, he has Final Cut. He's like one of like 3 directors alive that is Final Cut. So he just leaves it in there. Even Wolf of Wall Street was over 3 hours.
I don't mind the length of it. It was just fucking boring and dumb.
Yeah. The movie he did before that was Silence, that religious movie. Did you see that?
No.
I didn't either.
I don't think anybody else did.
No.
Wolf of Wall Street was 2013, I think.
Yeah. Okay. He's been averaging one maybe every 2 or 3 years. Silence was that one with the kid from fucking Star Wars and Girls. I don't know what his name is. Weird looking dude. He's military.
Oh, yeah.
Adam Driver. Yeah. I think it was Adam Driver.
He was a Marine infantry guy, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and then this one is Jesse Plemons, who we love from Breaking Bad.
Mm-hmm.
And
he's got a very villainous face.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just can't, if you don't try to make him a fucking hero in anything.
I don't think he's a hero in this.
Yeah, I don't think he's a hero in real life.
But it's him and DiCaprio. So it should be tits.
He's married to Kirsten Dunst. He's my hero.
Yes.
Are you a Kirsten Dunst fan?
Yeah, but also part of that is just like what he looks like versus what she looks like, and it's just like that's heroic.
Yes,
like
I wondered that as well.
Yeah, they Austin residents, by the way.
Are they really?
Yep.
So she's fucking super cool in real life.
Oh yeah, you probably hung out with her.
I
right?
did, yeah, because
Eliza Dushku.
Yeah. So when I did the movie with Eliza, they just finished Bring It On, and then we went to her house, and she was like the fucking nicest, coolest person on the face of the planet. I was like, shit, it's dope, dude. It's no bra, sweater, just chilling out. Like, hey, do whatever you want. Who cares? And a bunch of like weird, eclectic people there. It was awesome. She's rad. So that's a huge score for him. I didn't know they lived in Austin.
Yeah, he's had a house since Friday Night Lights here. And dude, they might live out your way. Actually, she was saying she lived here. And like was living here during the pandemic, and so I don't know, like, because Plemons is always at a house.
I can't get down on Dunst. I feel like it would create either awkwardness or an argument if I ask her to do the things to me that I want done to me. I don't know what to say about that.
Why?
She just seems super fucking boring.
No, she's not. I'm telling you, she's cool and fun.
She might be like fun to party with, but I'm pretty sure she's not gonna let me slap her in the fucking face.
Dude, I don't know
about that. I don't know anybody who's gonna let you do that.
No, people do it all the time. Actually,
she was in the movie Melancholia, and that movie is really fucking weird. And she's like the lead in that. Like, if you're down to be in some like,
she's in one of my favorite movies, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I think is a really good movie, and it's becoming relevant now because now. There's this science that can it doesn't block memories. So it's not in Eternal Sunshine, they're looking for memory segments in your hippocampus and then they're fucking hitting the laser beam on them, right? Just to fucking get rid of them altogether. The science that's happening now is they're fucking disassociating the connections, right? So neural channels, let's say you associate X with Y, whatever it is. X is a fucking traumatic event in your life and Y is fight or flight. Right. So, what it does is it removes the bridge between those two things. Your brain, to be more efficient, creates creates links between certain parts of the prefrontal cortex and the hippocampus, right? Mm-hmm. And smell has a lot to do with that as well. And it does it for shortcuts to be more efficient, right? So you see the outline of a person, and you know that that's a person. Right. That's an example. That's a rudimentary example. It's an example. This technology that's in real life gets rid of that. Like, it removes that connection, basically.
Yeah.
So you don't have that connection anymore. And there's actually, there's a lot of new science that says that things like ketamine, for example, will stop that connection from being made in the first place. So let's say you got attacked or whatever the fuck, or you had some traumatic experience, you get hit with ketamine enough in the early stages of that fucking mental development after the fact, and it'll prevent that from becoming a post-traumatic stress disorder in the first place. Mm-hmm. Right?
Would you be down with that?
I wouldn't know.
Erasing memories and all that shit?
No, I think every time we try to take a shortcut, it doesn't work out great. Like, you need to learn how to process and deal with trauma, not get rid of it.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea.
Yeah, I'm curious because, like, as we start to get more scientifically advanced with all of this shit, everything we've seen in films is coming true, like in front of our very eyes, and you're like, oh man,
yeah, like, for
do
example,
I really want that?
For example, a lab with the best intentions.
Boston Dynamics.
Well, no. Well, I mean, that's certainly one of them, but
Wuhan.
Yeah. Yes, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're doing this specific type of testing where they try to create super viruses and then solve them before they happen in real life. The problem is that about one a year, give or take, escapes.
Yeah.
And one escaped last year, apparently.
Yep.
Well, actually, it was in 2019. Yeah. So, every time we try to take shortcuts and outsmart nature butt fucks us.
Pretty hard, yeah.
Well, actually, it wasn't that bad in reality.
Man,
it just wasn't.
We're still going through it, right?
We're going through it because governments are using it to control people, but in reality, it's not that bad.
What's happening in India, though? By the way, is that real? That it's a different variant, or
it doesn't matter if it's a different variant or not. Imagine how bad Indian healthcare might be.
Oh yeah,
the amount of people that they clearly can't service, they're fucking broke. I mean, it's a
when you look at their living. And it's just shacks upon shacks upon shacks for miles and miles and miles. Like, yeah, it's fucked. But it seemed like they were able to stave it off early on, and they were looked at as like, oh, the leaders of like, oh, we figured this out. So I don't know what's happening. And the weirdest part about it is it's not getting a ton of press. And I heard it's like deaths in the hundreds of thousands, but I don't really know. Like, it doesn't get any press whatsoever.
It's basically like every horrifying scenario they told us was going to happen here, like it's just like it's like a movie. Like, it's like bodies burning in the streets and shit like that. I don't know. It's population density.
Yeesh, dude, that's crazy.
What you should do if you're bored this afternoon is go search for an article by a man named Nicholas Wade, Nicholas space Wade, the origin of this thing that's happening. Did people or nature open Pandora's box at Wuhan? And you can read that and see the studies that have been done. And you won't need to make up your own mind because the facts will do it for you.
Yeah.
Not only has that happened. We're going to talk about this on the news tomorrow too. But now they're fucking 10xing the investment into this company. So
it's Fauci and those guys.
It is absolutely led by Fauci. Yes.
Yeah. The last thing I wanted to chat
and
about.
That's why he won't admit, by the way, none of these assholes, including Francis Collins and some other people, won't admit that that's what happened, because if that's what happened, then they're culpable.
Oh yeah.
Right. So these guys, Fauci, Francis Collins, this other fuckface, they should all be in prison for the rest of their lives. Frankly, because regardless of the fact that this has been blown completely out of proportion, and it's pretty much not a risk at all for normal, healthy people that are young. A lot of elderly people have been fucking killed by this for no fucking reason.
Oh yeah. The last thing I wanted to chat about today, and I just got a text message from my mom actually, and I was like, you know I'm on air. What the fuck? Is this gas station thing? There's 1,000+ gas stations that have now run out of fuel. It says, there's crazy long lines, and there's a state of emergency in Virginia, and people are asking, because I've got to go back for my grandmother passed away, and all my family's coming in this weekend to spread the ashes in her will. She wanted the ashes in the ocean, so they're all going to come down to my place in North Carolina on Friday or Saturday, where a lot of them are driving in and out. So I keep getting these text messages about the gas. I didn't hear anything about this, and now I'm looking at it now. Why are we out of fucking gasoline? Don't we have like the largest reserve?
It's not that. It's the pipelines are fucked up because they got hacked.
By who?
No, I don't think that's been established.
There was a story on 60 Minutes that said maybe about 2 months ago that we were going through the largest hacking in American history, cyber attack, and that it was coming from Russia, and they knew where it was coming from and everything else, and they said that they just could not control it. This would definitely be one of those things. Fuck, if you were going to cut off the gas supply, absolutely, this would be one of those things. So they're getting hacked and they can't distribute gas?
I mean, I think there were just gas shortages.
Oh, shit, there's an update. Here we go. Breaking news. Russia denies involvement in the pipeline hacking, which obviously means they did it. American Airlines forced to add stops on long flights. And a ransomware gang begins leaking DC police data. That's a fun thing, isn't it? I feel like we're all just a fucking switch away from losing all of our shit. Like money, housing, mortgages, all of it.
Maybe.
What's your theory?
Not in that crypto wallet.
Yeah, that crypto dog is through the roof, brother.
If traditional currency fails and crypto is all that's left, crypto will also fail, by the way. So good luck.
Because you think people will hack that?
No, because it will be, what the fuck are you going to spend it on? Why would it have any value? It only has value because people are trading it right now, and because people accept it as actual currency. That's it. It's like art.
I'll go back to trading myself.
Bottle caps.
Yeah.
Trading yourself for what, though? I mean, it would be
Physical labor, food.
In exchange for food.
Favors.
Yeah, I mean, there's a barter economy it only works locally, obviously. Like, how do you keep track of bartering across the country? Like, hey, I'll trade you fucking this for some of the corn from your Iowa cornfield. Like, oh, cool. How are we doing that?
Sounds like a medieval times festival. Well, it sounds like LARPing.
I think we're all just sad we didn't get to go to medieval times this weekend.
A lot. Our hotel was directly next door, and we didn't get to go to that. So Virginia governor, this is breaking news, Virginia Governor Ralph Northam issues a state of emergency to address gasoline supply disruptions here. He has signed an executive order declaring a state of emergency in the states of Virginia here. Jesus Christ. I wonder what the gas prices are.
I'm not sure if it's a price issue or if it's an availability issue. It seems like it's the latter. It seems like there's just not enough fuel, because you're not seeing people turned away from pumps because it's $5. There are signs on the pumps that says there's no gas.
Yeah. So to your point here, it says Colonial Pipeline, which delivers about 45% of the fuel consumed on the East Coast, halted operations last week after revealing a ransomware attack that it said had affected some of its systems. The pipeline plays a key role in transporting gasoline, jet fuel, diesel, and other petroleum products from Texas all the way to the Northeast. So does that mean we're fine, Dan, or we're good on that?
I'll be fine either way.
Fuck, I got to take a flight tomorrow.
I know how to siphon gas, so I'll be fine.
I'm on an American Airlines flight tomorrow. If I have more than 2 layovers, I'll kill someone.
Yeah, good luck.
Now's the point in the show. We get to the Drinkin Bro of the week. Itatashe was on earlier. He did the sports. He did the sports one, dude.
Yeah, that was just
shout out to you being here all day, man.
Not even close to how you say that word.
Itamashe?
There you go.
There it is.
Closer.
There it is. I'm so great with names, and you know that listening to the show all these years. I'm so good with names. I never miss anyone's. So.
Well, Matthew McConaughey would agree.
Yeah, him. Fuck. Who is it? Michio Kaku?
Also, Matt Leinhart.
Yeah. I'm really good with names.
Lionheart.
You
kept saying.
Whatever, dude.
Yeah.
Look, nobody accused me of being smart. You know, I'm not a hero. I'm not a Fauci. I'm not up there every day in a white lab coat telling you what to do. Some dummy on the fucking interwebs. This one comes from Kevin from Ohio, who's been a member of Drinkin Bros for a spell, he says.
What is he, 75 years old?
I like that a lot. Oh my God, dude, this is great. These come in live, by the way, on drinkinbros.com. So we can't stop it. Whatever it is, we read it live on air, and there's no going back. This is going to piss off D'Anthony so much. I'm so happy about this. He's nominating Ross Patterson's cannon right arm. Reason for the nomination is I'm nominating Ross's right arm. He threw the White Claw can at least 80 yards at the Uber with power and precision. I witnessed this act of superhuman strength and accuracy firsthand. Dan is wrong and might just be jealous. Some say that can of White Claw is now still in orbit.
No, it's not.
Yes, Kevin!
It went about 20 feet, and I will outthrow you any day.
I'll take that challenge.
Okay. I promise you that.
Please let me know before we set up the online betting service where people can bet on things instantly.
Yes. What do you want to throw, by the way?
I don't care.
What sport are you good at?
Giorgio, we'll throw him.
Well, no, let's. Is it baseball? Did you play in high school?
Yeah, I played baseball. I can stand on home plate and throw a baseball over the left field fence pretty easily.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll take that back.
You can't.
We do have a baseball field behind.
We have a baseball field.
Yeah, but it's like a child's one. But yeah, we'll have to figure out a way to measure it and stuff. I remember those. Dude, that was one of the things at field day.
Yeah.
Middle school. That shit. Just how far can you throw a fucking baseball?
No one beat me.
That's a weird. That's a weird thing to do.
What about shot put?
Nah, it hurts. I can't even bowl because it makes my arm hurt.
You know what's funny? I had this conversation with my wife. Our football team was short, like the track team was short, so all the football players had to do fucking track and field. So I ended up doing like shot put, discus, all that shit. I was not stoked about it for 2 years, but whatever, man.
Every time I see one of those fucking bird scooters or whatever the fuck, that's what I want to do. I want to grab it with both hands, spin around a couple of times, and launch that thing into fucking space.
Yeah.
It's the most annoying shit of all time.
Man, I could fucking huck a discus. The shot put guys, though, it was always like 350-pound guys, and I would get destroyed by those guys.
Shout out to Christian Cantwell, Mizzou alum, silver medalist in the Olympics.
Shut the fuck up.
Boom. Yeah, I'll give him a shot. What was he? Shot put guy?
Shot put guy. Watched him bench over 650 pounds once.
No shit.
Yeah. There's a video of it online.
All right, dog. I'll give him a shout out for that, for sure. You put up 650, you earned it.
Richard Denov says he can still throw in the 70s. Nolan Ryan threw out a first pitch at a game. I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago. And he's like 66 at the time. He threw at 85 still.
Yeah. That's gnarly, man. I know that somebody, in all sincerity, by the way, somebody challenged me to one of those fast pitch things. We went to a minor league game and it was set up, you know, and they were like, how fast can you throw? And I was like, it's weird. I can throw very, very far. Baseball and a football. Speed was never my thing, but accuracy, like I was always the kid that they brought in just to get the outs of like, hey, just throw it down the fucking middle and don't be a hero with this. I think the highest I ever got up to was, I don't know, maybe high 70. Nothing impressive. Nothing impressive back then.
You're not going to beat me.
I would love it.
Not if you throw in the high 70s, you're not going to beat me throwing a baseball.
It doesn't matter about speed, it's length.
Dude, that is the dumbest shit. Do you understand how physics works at all?
We're going to do it then.
Hit him with an off-speed pitch too.
Yeah, I'll throw a fucking circle change.
We'll go out. We literally have a baseball field behind us. Yeah, we'll go out and do it.
I actually think the infield might be kind of teeny tiny, but the fence
It looks
to
legit,
be
right?
about
It's
the
like
length.
probably $250 for a little league fence. I mean,
No, it's not a little league. It's just a fence from the fucking home. Like it's just a fence for the park.
Yeah.
But it has what do you call it? Fucking barbed wire on it for some
We
reason.
could just do this at the Drinkin Bros summer camp.
Yeah. Or I mean, right back here and just shoot it real quick. I coach my kids' t-ball team, so I got a million baseballs out in the old garage at my house, and they made it. There was a top on them, so we're good. They didn't get flooded.
Distance, by the way, and this is
Distance.
why
Distance.
if you watch baseball, you would understand this. Launch angle and exit velocity are the two things that determine how far something goes.
Sure, but what I'm saying is, if we were throwing just off a mound as fast as you can, like I did that. I mean, speed was never my suit, but length. I could fucking throw a goddamn mile.
New idea.
Yeah.
Next time there are raises, we have an inter-office decathlete between all the producers for who gets the raise.
Georgia, I think you'd win.
I do too, and that's why I'm running this.
What are the things here?
Yeah,
on
if it's squatting or deadlift, it's probably going to be fucking
It's fake Dan.
Yeah, fake
Yeah,
Dan.
but I got him all the running stuff. His knees messed up.
No, we're fine.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nah, he'll just get a cortisol shot just like the fucking horse did last weekend.
we like to let him think he's good at things, but there's a true athlete in the building sitting beside you.
That's right. Are you the only college athlete here?
I'm a all Big 12 first team member, so like put some respect on that.
Yeah. That's right, dude.
Yeah, why
Shit.
don't you get on camera and show everybody your fucking shoulder, and then we'll talk about how you're going to compete in any kind of athletic competition. You might die before
Not
the
a
show
chance.
ends.
What's up with the shoulder? Did you ever get that diagnosed, or did
Pop
you
it
never
out.
just go to the doctor?
Pop it out.
All right, for everybody.
Come on, there you go. There it is. Take it off live on air.
That's gross.
What is that? Is that an extra bone, or is that just never
That's where
healed
my
properly?
collarbone lives now.
Oh, fuck, dude.
Yeah, so
It's not terrible. I don't know how you stay that thin with eating like you do all day. I mean, it's fucking crazy. Absolutely fucking
crystal
crazy.
meth.
It's 4 miles of farmer walks with 35-pound kettlebells every morning.
Not one prayer. Not one prayer. How did it go? Didn't you train with Tim Kennedy and those guys one day?
I'll be back there soon.
Yeah.
I'm quietly getting back into shape, putting in that road work, that mileage, getting those stability muscles tuned up, and then coming back.
All right. I got to get back in my house here is what I need to do. Imagine eating out for 4 months straight, living in a fucking Hyatt, dude.
Yeah, I do that, and I live here.
Awful.
In an apartment, and I still
Awful.
order food every single day.
Genetically, you eat healthy shit, though. I watch you eat. You eat.
I had a lot of protein.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you eat a lot of protein.
Last night I ate a charcuterie board.
Big fan.
And
Big fan.
That was your meal?
No, that was the appetizer because that's what those are.
Yeah.
Right. I was going to say. It's a
No,
weird
then I
meal.
ate all of it.
Of course.
Right, and it's for like 4
course.
people. Then I ate a big ass family style spaghetti and meatballs, and then I ate some tiramisu, and I finished that for breakfast this morning.
Did you really?
Yeah.
It's a weird.
Then I
breakfast to
had
start off with.
I got a fucking couple of bacon, egg, and cheese breakfast tacos from Sleek. That's in downtown Austin. It's a really good place.
Okay. I'll peep it.
Yeah, it's good.
I'll peep it.
They have good food there.
Craigers threw you a $5 for Georgia's shirt off, and D'Anthony acknowledging Iowa today.
I didn't say Iowa existed. I'm saying that's a conversation someone might have had. Obviously, it doesn't exist.
Shit. And speaking of which, is that Field of Dreams game going on this year? Or did they
Who
nuke
the
that?
fuck knows, man. I don't want to go to fucking to Iowa.
I don't mind. I just don't want to wear a mask and do it.
Yeah.
That's all.
I don't know. I'm sure Major League Baseball hasn't interfered with any of the states that have opened maskless.
Okay.
Like Atlanta, for example. You'll see, if you watch their broadcast, you'll see Paul Bird tooling around through the audience with no mask on, just fucking around. Nobody cares.
That's cool.
So they're not getting involved in it. So maybe it depends on Iowa. I don't know what's open there, what's not.
I don't either. Or if it even exists.
Yeah.
We'll find out. Thanks for tuning in today, kids. As always, go to iTunes, rate the show a 5-star, and leave a quick review. That's all they care about. That's all ratings are built on in podcasts. You know, like rankings on those stupid charts is like your reviews.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do with your listeners. Just that stupid review. So just go in there and write whatever, man. That you love America if you want to. It really, really helps the show, and we appreciate all the support. For D'Anthony Hollaway, I'm Ross Patterson. This is the Drinkin Bros podcast. Good night, everyone.